Up or your Den store.
Hey, folks, welcome back to the Dennis Miller Show. That's one of the best shows you'll ever see in your life if they come to your neighborhood. And on my voice Mount Rushmore, I got to go with Sinatra, McCartney, Bill Medley. Can't put Streisand up. There's not enough granite to carve the schnoz on. But this cat, Philip Bailey of Earth, Wind, and Fire, is going to tell us about his new book, Shining Star. Philip, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. I want to thank you for one of the greatest shows I've ever seen. I saw you guys at the Chumash a 3 years ago, and geez, man, your pipes were, I guess you're on stage, you can't see, but people in the crowd are all just like looking at each other, and their jaws hit the ground. Man, you got a gift from God there, baby.
Yes, sir. You rest, sir. Say it again. Definitely have a gift from God, and I'm just very honored to be able to get on the phone with you guys this wonderful day. Talk about Shining Star, braving the elements of earth, wind, and fire. You know, these songs that everybody that's come to be the soundtrack of a lot of people's lives had stories that behind them in terms of how they were written and what we were going through and where I was in my whole psyche and life and stuff. So, I wrote this book to actually give them those stories, but also to inspire them, because it's been a journey in terms of just surviving the elements, because along with touring and life and accolades, you still got to live life, so.
Well, Philip, we'll get to everybody has their trials and tribulations, but let's start off in the pure zone. When do you realize that you can sing like that, and what's your first move, and how do you hook up with Maurice White? Tell us about the beginnings a little.
Well, I've always been singing. There never was a time where it was awakening and, okay, and this is when it happened. It's just always been. My mom said that I was singing before I was talking, and my youngest son from my first marriage, Philip, he was doing the same. But music has always been my kind of like my little Pied Piper. Just come this way, and I've always followed it. Started playing drums, on a makeshift drum trash cans with some sticks I found from outside after seeing a parade,
right.
And drove my mom crazy enough to get me a snare drum. And then I was always singing, so I was in the choirs in school. Fortunate enough to be brought up in a city that had an extraordinary music system, music program in Denver, and just started with young bands. There was clubs on every, in every neighborhood, so that gave you a place to kind of hone your skills. And that's where I started, right there in Denver, Colorado, and playing in Aspen and Vail and Breckenridge and, different,
right.
The gigs up there like that as a kid. So that's how I started.
Well, that'll help you build a bellows like you have in your chest, ma'am, singing at altitude, because, that's your hard drive is singing up in that rarefied air.
I think it has something to do with it. Actually, I really do. I think that that mile-high altitude has something to do with my expanded chest capacity.
Yeah, there used to be a Tour de France rider named Miguel Indurain, and he said the fact that he lived in his childhood in high altitudes had turned his chest into a massive blacksmith's bellows. And indeed, if you watched him from behind, it was like when you were singing, Philip, I was thinking, this cat could hold this till we all had to go home because we got to work tomorrow if he had to. We're talking to Philip Bailey, Shining Star, braving the elements of earth, wind, and fire. I'm trying to think about how tremendous a smile that must have put on your mom's face to hear her baby singing like that. Jesus.
Just last week, I'm doing a picture signing real quickly. This off the cuff,
hey, Phil, take your time. We want
brought us a disc, a hard drive,
right?
And on that hard drive was an interview, the only interview that anyone ever did with my mom, me, my sister, and the other Denverites back in the day, and so. Can you imagine seeing me getting a chance to see my mom?
Oh my God! What a blessing!
An interview, and for the first time, she died around 19 78 or so.
Oh my God.
You know, so that's the first time I've been able to see her since she passed, and it was just like, wow, it was a really, really out of body kind of experience.
What a blessing, though, Philip. Jeez, what a nice gift to have somebody. I assume he bestowed it upon you. We're talking to Philip Bailey, shining star, braving the elements of earth, wind, and fire. I went to see them at folks at a local casino a couple years ago, and I'm telling you, it is one of the great. You can't believe how many great songs there are in a row. It's like mind-bending, where you just go, and that too, I forgot that. And then the old cat on bass who looks like Nick Ashford, he's charging you in buckskin. He's still revved up in his 60s. That cat's got to be 65 now. Philip, what's his name again?
Verdine.
He is a piece of work. It was so much fun. The whole crowd was dancing. I absolutely loved it. It's one of my favorite shows I've ever seen in my life. When did you first bump into Maurice White, Phil?
Well, you know, their first band played a show in Denver, and my band was asked to open the show, and that's when I met him. Actually met him on the elevator. He was, you know, had this cowboy hat on and these bell-bottom pants, and he smelled like coconuts because that was the day of the coconut oils. He had on coconut oil. And so, you know, I'm a country bumpkin, and he was a city slicker.
Yeah, but he recognized the elevator on you was going up, baby. I guarantee you.
And thank God he did.
One of my favorites, and I remember I was on the bullet train between Tokyo and Kyoto, and I was listening to Phil and you sing Easy Lover, and I was wondering
Easy Lover, right.
What a great, great song. How did somebody put you together, or you guys just bumped into each other? How's that story, Phil?
Well, actually, the Phoenix Horns were playing with him. The Phoenix Horns were our horn section, and they were playing with him on their off time, and they introduced me to him at the Forum. And I was working on my second record, and one thing led to another, and he was asked to produce the record, and him, and Nathan East wrote "Easy Lover," the last song of the record project, and the rest was history. He's a great guy, great talent, and just a fantastic gentleman.
Talking to Philip Bailey, shining star, braving the elements of earth, wind, and fire. And indeed, when you're that proficient as these cats are, it leads to worldwide fame. And worldwide fame, even for a cat who sounds like he had humble beginnings, can twist your head around, man. I don't know, Phil. How high did you get, and how frosty is it up there, baby? But it's
well, you know, I think that for me, the good thing about it is Maurice's whole concept about the band had some grounding to it. And so we weren't trying to see if we could destroy hotels and, get into a whole lot of trouble as much as we were trying to keep, a good reputation and, try to get through this thing with some integrity.
Well, I'll say 90 million records, 8 Grammy Awards through its 40-year history. I don't know, baby. It's like you say you weren't in the first permutation, so I guess it's sort of like Ringo coming in onto the Silver Beatles, but you certainly got plunked down in the perfect place for you, didn't you, Philip?
Most definitely. I'm playing for 2 presidents now, the Clinton administration, and playing, 3 times for President Obama, the King of Morocco, Nobel Peace Prize. So the band has gotten around. There's a scripture in the Bible that says that your gift will make room for you before great men, and it surely has for me. I'm really thankful.
I hear the King of Morocco's a stone freak. Any insight?
Well, I don't remember
I'm
now.
kidding.
I don't remember now. Has he changed since the one that we played for? I'm not sure.
I'm just teasing you, baby.
Everything was, copacetic.
All right, Phil. Phil's website is philipbailey.com. You can follow him on Twitter at Philip Bailey, EWF. The book is Shining Star, Braving the Elements of Earth, Wind, and Fire. I'm telling you, folks, on my vocal Mount Rushmore, Sinatra, McCartney, Bill Medley, and Philip Bailey. It is just unfreaking believable. Thanks for the thrills over the years.
In company with all those guys.
All right, baby. We'll talk at you down the road. Philip Bailey. And Yeah, I gave him a cursory pass on the travails of fame, but I didn't want to. Some days you need a day off from your own story, right?
What, you need a
No,
day
it
off
sounded
from
like
the...
you didn't want to. Didn't he have some life-changing epiphanies, as they say?
Well, he's an easy lover. That's really what it all comes
All
down
right,
to.
then I got out the core issue. I didn't know if you wanted me to. America's turned into a catharsis ATM. Since Oprah, and I didn't know if I was supposed to. And we're walking. Awkward moment. What do? We go to John and PA, voicemail number 3.
I'll tell you, one of the reasons I love the show is because you can go from Putin to waterboarding to martinis all in a matter of seconds. And it made me think about something that a good friend of mine told me once when we were talking about how many martinis that we should actually have. And he said, martinis are like breasts. One's not enough, but three's too many. So next time you order the second one, know that that's the limit. Don't order a third. Take care. Great show.
Putin on the Ritz. That's laughing. He likes a little drink, a gimlet. Feed him one, feed him two. He's tracing his name on the wall in his own scat. Boo, 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 boo. 866-509-7268. I very infrequently can make it through one martini, but I go to Lucky's. My friend Gene Montesano's bought down on Coast Village Road, and they make a... who were those witches? They were in some Shakespeare play.
Macbeth,
Trouble.
yes.
Yeah. Well, he makes a steaming cauldron of a martini. So if I get to the second one, trust me, I wake up like Beer Fest, naked in the ocelot cage at the zoo.
Beer Fest.
Folks, I can't say Beer Fest is Candide, but I can say there's 5 moments in there where they have to put the paddles on you. That they're so wrong and so funny. We used to talk to that cat. What happened to them?
We still talk to those guys whenever they have something new come out.
Jesus.
I think they're working on Super Troopers 2.
Well, all right, we'll be there. What's the kid's name? Landro Claserian or something?
Yes, he lives in Cloud City.
Dennis Bell.
This is the Dennis. Our sponsors support us. We hope you'll support them. Tell them you heard it on KCNR 14.